Hello everyone. Today we are decoding 100 places in news, a continent-wise global current affairs breakdown covering strategic corridors, maritime disputes, climate hotspots, and conflict zones. So in today's world, maps are not just geography, maps are power, conflict, trade, climate, and strategy. So let's begin the show. So Gaza remains one of the most sensitive conflict zones in the world, known for humanitarian crisis, dense urban warfare, and of course the Israel-Palestine issue. Rafah crossing is a border crossing between Gaza and Egypt, and it became crucial as a humanitarian aid and evacuation route. The Netzarim corridor is a military corridor inside Gaza. It's important because it strategically divides the territory. Coming to Morang axis, it is linked to southern Gaza operations, especially around Rafah, making it important in conflict geography. The yellow line, is a temporary line, a temporary military separation line in Gaza, showing how conflict zones are divided on the ground. The Red Sea lies between Israel and Jordan and is famous as the lowest land elevation on Earth. So here comes Strait of Hormuz. It lies between Iran and Oman as well. Nearly 20% of global oil trade passes through it, making it one of the most sensitive choke points. Bab el Mandeb connects the Red Sea with the Gulf of Eden and became important because of shipping disruptions and Houthi-related tensions. The Gulf of Eilat is the northeastern arm of the Red Sea. It's important for marine biodiversity and also for strategic naval access. Natanz is a key uranium enrichment facility in Iran and remains central to their nuclear policy. Fordow is Iran's underground nuclear site. It is significant because it is built for protection and strategic depth. Isfahan is an Iranian industrial and nuclear linked city. It is important for uranium conversion and strategic infrastructure. And Qom is a major Shia theological center in Iran and also appears in discussions around Iran's strategic geography. Lake Urmia is a shrinking salt lake in Iran. It symbolizes climate stress, drought, and water mismanagement. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is the largest US military base in the Middle East and is a key CENTCOM hub. Port of Haifa is a Mediterranean port in Israel and important for the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. Sarbanias Island in the UAE, known for its conservation, wildlife, and ecotourism diplomacy. Sana'a, as you know, is the capital of Yemen and remains significant due to the ongoing conflict involving the Houthi forces. Suwaida is in southern Syria and is important because of Druze Bedouin tensions and Syria's post-civil war instability. Al-Tanf garrison is a US outpost in Syria strategically located to block Iran's land corridor towards the Mediterranean. Blue Line is a recognized demarcation between Israel and Lebanon, important due to Hezbollah related tensions. Kurdistan is an oil-rich Kurdish region spread across Iraq, Turkey, Iran, and Syria, and is linked to autonomy politics. Erbil is the capital of Iraqi Kurdistan and a regional strategic hub in West Asia. So move towards South Asia and Durand Line is the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, a colonial era boundary that remains deeply disputed. The, the Torkham crossing is a major Afghanistan-Pakistan transit point important for trade, migration, and border tensions. Chaman Spin Border Duck is another key Pakistan-Afghanistan crossing strategically important for movement and security. The Khyber Pass is a historic mountain pass, famous as an ancient invasion and trade route. Bagram Air Base was the former major US base in Afghanistan and became symbolic of America's withdrawal. Port of Pasni lies on Pakistan's Makram coast and has strategic relevance in the Arabian Sea geopolitics. The Gwadar port is China-backed and central to CPEC, making it important for Indian Ocean strategy. Mount Makalu is the fifth highest mountain in the world and is important for Himalayan geography and plate tectonics. Towards East Asia, and we have Shenzhen, which is China's technology hub, often called China's Silicon Valley because of its innovation ecosystem. Qingdao is a Chinese naval city important for SEO meetings and China's maritime presence. Senkaku Islands are disputed between China and Japan and is important for the EEZ, the fisheries, and the East China tensions. Tokara Islands in Japan gained attention due to earthquake activity and the location in a tectonically active zone. The Luzon Strait lies between Taiwan and the Philippines and is a key Indo-Pacific maritime corridor. Towards Southeast Asia, South China Sea is one of the world's most contested maritime zones. Nearly 30% of the world shipping passes through it. Kandike Reef lies in the Spratly chain and is linked to China-Philippine tensions. Scarborough Shoal is a strategic fishing and maritime zone in the South China Sea dispute. Spratly Islands are disputed by multiple countries and are important for hydrocarbons, seas, claims, and naval strategy. Paracel Islands are disputed mainly between China and Vietnam, making them important in South China Sea geopolitics. The Thailand-Cambodia border is important due to historical disputes and colonial era boundary issues. The Preah Temple is a UNESCO heritage site and a flashpoint in the Cambodia-Thailand tensions. Tamon Thom is a temple zone linked to the historic border disputes between Thailand and Cambodia. The same goes with Chongbok Plateau, another strategic highland region and a recent escalation point in the Thailand-Cambodia dispute. Strait of Malacca, it lies between Malaysia and Indonesia and is one of the world's most busiest trade routes. Coming to Europe, coming to Ukraine, Ukraine remains central to global geopolitics due to Russia-Ukraine war, NATO tensions, and food security. Crimea is a Black Sea peninsula and a Russian naval stronghold, making it strategically crucial. Donetsk is a part of Donbas region and remains a key conflict center in eastern Ukraine. Luhansk is another major conflict region in eastern Ukraine, linked to separatist control and a Russian influence. Kherson is a southern Ukrainian city important for land routes and access towards Crimea. Sorry. Zaporizhia is globally important because it hosts Europe's largest nuclear power plant. Sumy, another strategic northeastern Ukrainian city close to Russia border. Kursk is an industrial and logistics hub important for supply routes and coal infrastructure. Kursk region in western Russia is strategically important and historically famous for the largest tank battle of World War II. Black Sea is vital for grain exports, naval rivalry, and Russia-NATO strategic competition. Kerch Strait connects the Black Sea and Sea of Azov and is important for Crimea's military logistics. Bosphorus is the Turkish strait connecting the Black Sea route to the Mediterranean, making Turkey highly strategic. Dardanelles is another Turkish strait that controls access between the Aegean and the Black Sea route. Strait of Otranto lies between Italy and Albania and is important for NATO naval movements. And coming to the Baltic nations, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are NATO frontline states facing Russia. The Nord Stream pipeline presents Russia, Europe, energy geopolitics, and Europe's energy vulnerability. The North Sea is important for oil, gas, and offshore wind energy. Croatia is another nation, a NATO nation, important. Coming to Africa, we move to Africa, we move to Democratic Republic of Congo, which is rich in cobalt and copper, which are essential for EV batteries and electronics. Goma is an eastern Congo city and a key hotspot in the M23 total conflict. Bukavu is another Eastern European, sorry, I beg your pardon, Eastern Congo city linked to conflict, displacement, and regional instability. Sahel region is a semi-arid belt across Africa known for coup, terrorism, and food security. Sudan is facing civil war. Darfur in Western Sudan remains one of Africa's most important humanitarian crisis zones. Al Fashir is a key in Darfur and an important conflict escalation zone. Tutti Island lies at the confluence of the Blue Nile and White Nile between Khartoum, Omdurman, and Bahri. Bamako is capital of Mali. Jer, Ethiopia is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on the Blue Nile. Eswatini is a landlocked southern African country and Africa's last absolute monarchy. Zambia is rich in copper and cobalt, making it important for resource geopolitics. Ghana is known for gold and cocoa and remains important in West African diplomacy. Benin lies on the Gulf of Guinea and is linked to port of Cotonou and Western African geopolitics. Sierra Leone is an Atlantic coastal state facing climate vulnerability and sea level threats. Nyanga Island in Sierra Leone is threatened by sea rise and coastal erosion. Plantain Island is another Sierra Leone island facing climate displacement risk. Volativa Complex is a rainforest ecosystem and UNESCO biodiversity hotspot in Sierra Leone. Madagascar is an Indian Ocean biodiversity hotspot known for unique endemic species like lemurs. Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt is important for climate diplomacy, especially after Stupid 7. The Americas from the Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark and a major Arctic geopolitical hotspot because of rare earths and new routes. Kaneskis, Kaneskis is the Canadian Rockies, became important as a G7 summit location. Peru is important in South American country for its geography and politics. Machu Picchu for its UNESCO World Heritage Site in Peru. Darien Gap is a dangerous jungle corridor between Colombia and Panama known for illegal migration. Lake Titicaca lies between Peru and Bolivia and is the world's highest navigable lake. Tuvalu is a Pacific island nation and symbol of climate migration and sea level rise. Bougainville Island is an autonomous region of Papua New Guinea and is important for the independence movement. Point Nemo is the most remote oceanic point on Earth and is often called as a satellite graveyard. White Island in New Zealand is an active volcano and is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Mount Tarangi is a New Zealand stratovolcano that gained attention after being granted legal person. Krasnikov volcano in um, Krasnikov volcano erupted after nearly 500 years. Chagos archipelago is a disputed Indian Ocean island chain linked to Mauritius, UK sovereignty issue. Diego Garcia is a strategic military base island in the Indian Ocean used by the US and UK. Polar Silk Road is an Arctic shipping strategy under the Belt and Road Initiative aimed at an alternate to Europe-Asia trade routes. Antarctica is a frozen research continent holding nearly 70% of global freshwater and is governed by the Antarctic Treaty.